Meet the sulky, over-bulky,
kinda hokey superhero.
a two-fisted and electrically transistored superhero, an exotically neurotic
And aquatic superhero.
The Marvel superheroes have arrived!
Hey everyone, welcome to the first official Nostalgia Rochic Retro VGM Revival Hour Let's Play series. Under quarantine of course, so I thought I'd do something in between the Transformers script that I'm currently working on. It's in its finishing phases right now, but I really wanted to do something in between, you know, to occupy myself but also provide some product, you know, something out there so you guys can enjoy. You know, in the meantime, this is one of like maybe 4 to 5 other Let's Plays I'm doing right now that they're gonna be loading to the channel, and I definitely wanted to start off with, of course, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. It's definitely a game I always liked. Let's begin here, but it's something I always enjoyed, and I really like this game series. I hope it's something entertaining, and here we start off with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because you tried to steal the most priceless
It's Chris
artifact.
Cooper and Chris
How was
Pratt,
I supposed to know that thing was so
semi
important?
characters that don't slightly sound like their movie
There's a plaque
counterparts.
next to it that said so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't go to museums to read. I go there to steal.
Anyone else
Breaking the law, breaking the law. And there we got Batista. Good old Dave Batista over there.
I'm not anyone else. I'm one of a kind.
Yeah, aside from like this series, you know, I always enjoyed like 1 and 2. I never understood why reviewers always, at the time when Part 3 came out, and we got, oh, there we go, Vin Diesel, you got a case of the VD.
Don't you side with them, you overgrown.
It's always interesting to know that when this series came out, the reviewers mostly said it was very repetitive. I always thought it was interesting for them to say that, considering like, if I recall, Part 1 and 2 were very repetitive. Again, they're just like what, top-down beat-em-ups with certain things.
is better than that racket Star-Lord calls music.
Yeah, 80s music, things you gotta bash.
I might have installed a new scanner I whipped up that detects high concentrations of unusual energy. Cosmic cubes.
And Hatsume Miku concerts. I need to go watch some Hatsume Miku concerts in space. But I have to say, you know, this game, you know, this is my first time playing it, so if you see some faults, please do understand that this is my first time trying all these things, especially Let's Plays, and again, just creating content in general. I can definitely probably hopefully talk for about whatever long I decide to talk for. Hopefully I don't, you know, bore you guys with anything, but it's definitely something I want to do. I mean, I have a freaking like Elgato game capture card just collecting dust and all these games in my backlog. You know, it's interesting. I think like there's a lot of memes going around, especially with people just, you know, focusing, like especially introvert, you know, with people like myself, that we can, you know, take this time to actually catch up on our probably ever increasing backlog of games that we have just collecting dust. You know, my excuses were, you know, because, you know, work, definitely my retail job. But in any other free time I have, I definitely focus on, you know, finishing, you know, whatever scripts or research for whatever Saturday morning breakfast mix episode. And again, the Transformer episode will be worked on. I just wanted to make these as a side little project just to occupy time. Okay, let's see where we are. Try the buttons here. Okay.
Scans were right.
Alright, so, you know, double jump, fly, smashy, always gotta, you know, anytime you see a crate that doesn't belong as part of the background pre-rendered, then yeah, that's something I need to smash all the way. Especially if I get like little tropes. And I think, let's see, health is red, blue I think it's special. I know there's like triple team attacks, but again, this is just like the beginning phase, so it'll probably bring up prompts. A man stuck in his own time, Star-Lord. Oh god, but it's funny that Capcom was able to jump on the Guardians train. by implementing Rocket Raccoon before it started hitting big before the movie.
Agreed. The sooner we
It,
get
it,
this ship,
the thing I like most about I think the comic designs, they'll always you know trump the movie designs. As much as the movie designs carry the spirit of the character and design, there's something about the comic book look that always just appeals better to me. Especially just, I guess there's more detailed, and yeah, some of them, they're not very good in terms of like human movements. Okay, yeah, Morgana seems, yeah, I like a sword slasher, slashy, that's for sure. And yeah, you could say I'm a Marvel fanboy, although I do like, you know, DC heroes, and I don't play the, you know, the not gatekeeping. What the heck would you call it? Like character devotion or whatever the hell it is. You know, I like characters in general. Like I can see the faults, but also the strengths in the Superman, Batman. Yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, I think Batman and Spider-Man are like the two most interesting heroes because their rogues gallery is so amazing. Okay, let's see. Any extra? Ooh, there's a secret little extra. Let's go get that extra. But back to like comic books. Like I stopped reading comic books. The reason I stopped reading comic books was because I was a comic book kid, but also was because you know, I also was a manga. I was an anime fiend, especially in the mid '90s when that shit started popping off. You know, everybody, you know, every company that didn't understand anime was just buying anime properties that were famous. Without really hiring a good dubbing crew. You know, like, if you want to hear some bad dubs, listen to some of that like late 80s, mid 90s stuff. Some of it wasn't that good to begin with. You know, there were some actors that tried the role, like I forgot the dude who was the father in Malcolm in the Middle and is the star of Breaking Bad. He did some anime voices. He also did some Power Ranger voices. I think he did Macros. Or whatever. Yeah, he did some Macros. He also did Power Rangers. He voiced the voice of Zordon for that recent live-action Power Rangers movie, which wasn't my cup of tea. It was okay, but you know, it was definitely one of those let's make it all serious and whatever. Even though it was basically like the Breakfast Club, but with the Power Rangers franchise, which isn't really how the original Power Rangers was. The Power Rangers, not, you know, Sentai, what it was in Japan, but when, you know, Saban got the licensing to that Sentai series, like, it was more Saved by the Bell meets Super Sentai, which funny enough, you know, it was Stan Lee who first introduced the Sentai series to not American audiences, but to certain American producers. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, I need to sometimes pay attention to the games without going off. But okay, this is just avoidable bombs that take their time to drop. Okay. I believe like he originally wanted to dub it and air it for American audiences, but I think people at the time or producer studios that he was trying to sell it to didn't understand the appeal or the premise or how to promote it. And funny enough, later on, I guess in the mid 90s, I think Haim Saban, you know, after the success of him and Shuki Levy making because again, Haim Saban and Shuki Levy were known for just making amazing like 80s cartoon theme songs, like opening themes. Oh, ooh, look. Okay, she definitely looks a lot more like her movie counterpart. I like the Kree soldiers, definitely helpful. Nebula, yeah, there you go. But I guess this is my first boss encounter fight. I love the character designs, definitely very good. So, alright, that's fine, like my first semi-boss theme. Alright, okay, so now I get to use specials. Whirlwind. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Like, I can see why people said like this is repetitive, like a lot of people on screen, but I was like, dude, have you ever played the first two? That's the thing about my ranting. Sometimes I go on I choose one thing to talk about and I'll jump to the next, so I do apologize if I'm confusing at times. And also I'm trying to, you know, fill in whatever game time I have with this, and I don't understand what that thing is. I think that's the multiplayer command. That's why I'm only seeing thumbs up. Again, I'm still trying to learn along the way while trying to talk. The thing, what was that? Oh yeah, Haim Saban, Shuki Levy, mostly known for their amazing, you know, 80s cartoon themes. And again, I love, like, there's a reason, like, people always say, like, you know, certain cartoon shows, or like, you know, just start maybe just an opening crawl and then just the title. Nothing in terms of like, hey, you know, something that entices you, especially certain shows that literally give you the character storyline or the situation. You know, without having an origin story, they break down the entire character strengths, flaws, and whatever the story is of the show in those like 30 to 60 seconds. And some of these songs were amazing. From what the success, I guess, Shuki Levy and Haim Saban, especially Haim Saban, started, you know, saving up their money and wanting to be a producer. You know, similar to like an actor wants to be a director down the line. And you know, he went to Japan and saw some of the Super Sentai stuff and wanted to, you know, capitalize on it, doing, you know, filming his own thing with it, and just intersplicing Japanese footage. Okay, R and attack do that. Okay. Ooh, that's kick-ass. Oh, okay. Keep pressing. Oh, again, this is tutorial, so of course you're gonna learn everything at once. And she, you know, sadly the tutorial boss, which is fine. It'll get me prepped for everything. Slashy, slashy. Let everybody do the work while I heal to the side. Overall, and then when he, you know, he sent it to American audience. At least, I think someone at Fox Kids, yeah, Fox Kids. You know, that person was very familiar with the Sentai series because I believe she was first exposed to it when Stan Lee tried to sell it in the mid 80s. Again, this was when Marvel Productions, you know, not the Marvel Productions we know today, but when Marvel Productions just, you know, produced certain cartoons, certain Marvel characters, and some like weird thing, I forget what, like a polar bear, like a weird knockoff show. And of course, during the time when, you know, they were killing it with Transformers and the G.I. Joe cartoons. Okay, she's beaten. Let's see. Where are we going now?
Very important if Nebula is involved.
Let's see. Aside from that, like, okay, so let's just slash some goons, hired goons, some Kree soldiers. See, I know my shit. I know my Marvel stuff. Definitely. Ooh, I wonder what other characters are here that are not on the cover art. Because I know there's like probably a good chunk of other characters. Okay, activation. In terms of that thing, you know, like I like, you know, just playing overall. Like I love this series. Well, 1 and 2. Although I like part 1 and more, just because it had those pre-rendered, those amazing cutscenes done by Ravensoft. I think it's Ravensoft Studios. You know, those cutscenes are great, you know, very cinematic, very, very detailed, highly detailed.
You must face the World Eater known as Galactus.
It sucks that that studio right now is just making Call of Duty games forever now and can't even try, like, experiment. Although I think they tried to do something else. I forget what the other game was. Not Dark Rift, Dark Void, Dark something, I think. I think it was, the last game I remember playing that was made by Ravensoft was, Wolverine's Revenge? Wolverine's Revenge? Oh, ooh, yeah, I gotta edit these people, my friends popping up online. Just to date myself. This is within the time that I think Animal Crossing is about to come out, so everybody just jumping online trying to download. So I definitely gotta edit out all these people popping out of nowhere. Yeah, I think this is more to just to command my friends if I was playing online or would co-op with a friend. Okay, so I ran out of my blue items. Oh, look at this Flash Gordon looking background. Oh god, yeah. Speaking of 80s space opera, I guess. Definitely. Oh, nice. Okay, so leveled up. Does that actually mean anything? Because for me again, I'm not gonna try and do secrets. I'm just gonna see how far I can get right now. Whirlwind attack. What does that mean? What does that yellow piss, little piss line mean? Okay. What
They
is
are tough. How amusing.
Thank you, Batista. Oh, okay, so this is like a quarantine boss zone. Okay, let's just do that.
Now things are getting fun.
Well, but let's see, what was that? Let's see, talk more gibberish about 80s Hamespun, Shuki Levy, Super Sentai, Fox Kids. You know, I like Fox Kids was great. Definitely something 90s kids would know. Especially with like, let's see, Tiny Toons, of course Animaniacs. Although the funny thing is, the more and more I watch Animaniacs now, I really appreciate Tiny Toons more. Like, I don't know, I guess some of those jokes in Animaniacs just kind of like, you know, were you know, at the style at the time. So some of them might fall on flat ears, especially, you know, for newer audiences who don't understand some of these references. Tiny Toons really, you know, I think their jokes are mostly based on old Warner Brothers cartoons, so that's how they appeal more. Just because, you know, occasionally watch, you know, some on like Cartoon Network app and whatnot, and you can still, you know, enjoy those jokes because, you know, they're then within that spectrum. While, you know, Animaniacs, some of those jokes, yeah, were for that time only, so you wouldn't probably understand a good chunk of them. But then again, you know, I'm not gonna defend Tiny Toons because if you watch, what is it? How I Spent My Vacation. Oh, an interesting story of how I spent my vacation, how I got to watch that movie. It was like literally the day before summer school, I think for like 5th or 4th grade for me. And my teacher didn't want to do jack shit. So, you know how you know you're gonna have an awesome day in school? It's when your teacher rolls up that TV with the VCR, you know, that in that little rolling display, that cart. When that teacher rolls that up into your classroom, you know, okay, this is the boss room. Let me just see, where am I going? Who is this? What Marvel cameo is this? That's okay, Ronan the Accuser. Okay, cool. Let me just talk over some of this. Oh, yeah, like, again, kids at school, you know it was gonna be something when your teacher rolled that cart with the TV and the VCR player. Now, yes, VCR. Hey, I love VHS. And out of nowhere, he pulled out a bunch of movies. And again, you know, once you roll that in, you know you're gonna watch a movie, be it educational or not. He was originally, I think, gonna put like something educational, but then apparently, before coming to work, before teaching the youth of our nation, he, I guess, bought a copy of How I Spent My Vacation, Tiny Toons, and we literally voted. Oh, okay, triple team attack. Oh, wait, that missed, but still good. And we literally try to convince him, like, can you put Tiny Toons instead? He didn't give any flack back about that. He literally said, okay, let's watch some Tiny Toons. And holy crap, that was like the best, the best experience and the best thing to watch before you're about to spend your real summer vacation. So it was a nice little treat. Oh god, I definitely need to turn off notifications when friends pop it online. What is it? Deal damage. Okay, alright. So just beat the boss. I don't care about getting. I just want to play this at point.
The fruit tag was that?
What just happened? Oh, okay, it's hammer attack. All right.
Kree sacrificed thousands of brave souls. Together they only
For us to beat the crap out of you with purple lightning.
And this.
Okay, I'm still good in health, so I should be okay as long as I got everybody else attacking at once. And, you know, start learning to use the dodge option. Let's see. Oh god, I think I definitely, although yes, Animaniacs does have its things. Like the one thing the potty emergency episode will be forever etched to our minds. On top of course, Yakko sings about the country Yakko song, whatever the heck it is. That's definitely I remember. But definitely, I think in passing, I remember I like Tiny Toons more. Like compare the two, if you put two side by side, like I'll probably favor Tiny Toons more now than Animaniacs. Although I still watch Animaniacs, I just can't like find like there are some jokes like like I would understand them because I'm of that time. But maybe younger people might raise an eyebrow in confusion. They have arrived.
Who is they? What is this all about?
I want to know
Ronan?
that too, Star-Lord. This is Thanos. Oh no, this is the Chitari. I think that's what their alien. Oh shit! Look at this Jack Kirby influenced design. See, this is the stuff I was referring to earlier. Like the movie version looked okay, but Proxima Midnight, her design, very Jack Kirby-esque. Also, Ronan the Accuser. He always had an amazing style that you can never duplicate. You can try and imitate it, but you can never duplicate Jack Kirby. Like I think many artists have tried, and they've literally all said I can try and make the style, but nothing can do Kirby like Jack Kirby. Which is I guess why his alien designs for various characters have always remained the same, have at least had that style, that feel. I think the closest would be John Romita Jr.
But technically, we got here first. So how's about you take 3, we take 3, and we call it a hey!
Nope. She just punched my switch. Okay, so is this another boss battle? I guess a boss battle after another boss battle, or is this just gonna go straight into a cutscene? Okay, so I guess this is a cutscene battle. Aside from that, oh, you know what? An interesting story was how I got into comics, which is a very interesting story of its own. I always knew about comic book characters. I always loved watching superhero shows. From the what is it, the Fritz Freylang, I think it is. Freaking Marvel superheroes to, of course, the 1967 Spider-Man show. Of course, various not Fleischer. The Fleischer Studios Superman. Also the Filmation Superman, the Filmation Justice League Heroes. Okay, what is this? This epic slow motion action shot. Oh, nice. Okay, who gets what? Alright, well, Star-Lord gets it because he has the rocket boots. Okay, so this was just a nice little cutscene away. I always watch superheroes. I always like superheroes. But I think my first comic... Yeah, because of course, comic books are translated in various countries. The places. Okay, where am I?
Oh, great.
I guess I'm in a rift or
I thought we were dead.
endless of space. Are we gonna fight Mephisto?
We aren't dead.
Are we in hell?
I am
It was funny enough. My first comic book I officially owned. It was during the death of Superman.
Be anywhere in space
Yes,
or time.
that particular earth-shattering event. Although, in hindsight, it was also one of the main reasons why comic book characters or comic book fans, have started to realize, no character really dies. Unless you're, I think Ben Reilly, Uncle Ben, Bruce Wayne's parents, and, I think I said Gwen Stacy? Yeah, but everybody else is, he's doing his movie I Light Up the Thing. Okay, so we're in a locker room. Okay, well, whatever. Fine, probably will wait out, fight its way out. And it was during that craziness, SNL was making jokes on it, news outlets, magazines were all covering, oh my god, the death of this iconic character. Little did we all know he was gonna come back with a big ass mullet. But during that time, my mother actually gave us money to go to one of our comic shops, to buy that comic. And again, this was during the time where comic books were like $1.50, $1.25, $1.75, with I think Dark Horse comics being the only comics that were $2 at the time, but everything else was like $1.25, $1.50, $1.75. Okay. Okay, so things are marked on the wall depending on what character ability I have. Again, it's been a while since I played the first two, so discovering all this stuff anew for the third is gonna, yeah. Okay, no, this.
Looks like we just made bail,
It's
Guardians.
definitely, it was definitely something where my mom just gave me and my brother 20 bucks and just displayed our. We bought the comic. We bought the Death of Superman, and we also bought the following comic that came out I think that week, which was Funeral for a Friend, which was how people were coping with Superman's death, in Metropolis and Gotham and all the other cities. But it was that one particular purchase, and again, since the comic was only like 125, 175, that gave us a couple of more, a couple of extra dough to buy other comics, and that's when I started buying it. And of course, as times progressed, comic books became a little more pricey than usual. Okay, turn on power, and we're in jail. Okay.
Now can we
We're
finally get
somewhere.
out of here?
Might as well see if there's any. Okay, secrets. Some secrets. Some of them are easier to find than others, I guess. And that's the thing that got me into reading comics. Again, I always liked comic books, comic characters, but I never owned one. And let's just say that I owned a good amount of stuff. And then fast forward to like maybe mid 90s, when again the anime craze was hitting. Again, what people never realize, people always say like, oh, animes, that Japanese animated stuff. But they also fail to realize that like a lot of cartoons in the 80s were animated by Japanese studios. Let's see. Like especially Tokyo Movie Shinza. They were responsible for a lot of 80s cartoons of my youth that were animated. Of course, none of us knew what to call it. We just called it animation. We just called it cartoons. Again, it's one of those things that when you get older, you realize, oh, this was done by this was done by that. They were outsourced by various other companies. Again, like not Tokyo Movie Shinza. I know, of course, Transformers. Although some of the episodes were done by, I think, a Korean animation studio that really wasn't that well, but you can tell in the quality. And again, there's a reason people always say like cartoons of the 80s were great, the animation was great, the character designs were amazing. Yeah, because they were made by Japanese studios. They were just the only thing American about them were whoever was in charge of the character designs that were based upon that person's design, but animated in, again, Tokyo Movie Shin's, I forget what the other company was. But Toei, I think Toei, yeah, Toei even did a couple of those. Okay, I guess. Okay, camera angles, okay. Just gotta not get pushed back, I guess. And, again, it's things that you find out when you grow up, but also, again, I do cartoon retrospectives, so I have to look up all this stuff, and it gets ingrained on me. Like when you find out like your favorite cartoon, like, oh, so basically all the cartoons of the 80s were basically anime. They were just, done, the character designs themselves were done by an American artist. Okay, so we're Split Road? Where am I going?
Groot.
Well, thank you for that info, Vin Diesel.
Brings back some memories, don't it?
Yeah, to the first movie. Should I do voices? I think no, they already got the good voices, and I know some of these are talented individuals. Let's see. What Tokyo Movie Shinza? Oh, just a heads up. I've been 2 videos that I worked on were taken down. Funny enough, one of them by Tokyo Movie Shinza, and one of them was my Cyber 6 cartoon review. I try to fight it, but it sucks. Apparently, here's the thing. When you go, okay, checking up abilities, okay, try to blah blah blah. Again, sometimes I get the control pad and the start button confused, so okay, now I know. Okay, increase ranks. Okay, then why do this? Let me do this. Because apparently I used the official theme and the official opening to the Cyber 6 video. It got taken down by TMS, Tokyo Movie Shinza. It's hilarious. Like, they would let me put up the video if I remove the opening theme, but again, I need to have the opening theme to get everybody hyped. There's a reason. Like I said, luckily I have a job. Again, I jumped into this YouTube thing, I think, too late. But I definitely wanted to make it. Hence why I use more footage than your traditional YouTube uploader. And when it comes to cartoon reviews, like if you see all the footage, it's all cartoon footage. It's no, me standing in the background, in the backdrop, just, in front of a wall or a fancily, curated backdrop of toys and things that I'm talking about, to express what I'm about. So basically I use a lot of cartoon footage. I'm surprised I've lasted this long, to be honest, especially by companies, but if you manage things like I do, you can see that, yeah, I can't make money off of them because of the footage I use, but I don't mind it because, again, luckily I do have a job that supports me. Although the only flaw to that is that I don't have as much time to be able to make the videos that I am. Again, this quarantine right now, it's, to be honest, it sucks. Like I like to keep myself occupied, I like to keep myself busy at work, but I also know that, to stay safe. And for many creative types, this should be a good time as any to, be creative. If you're a musician, if you're an animator, again, if you're a content provider, I don't like the term influencer. It sounds like you're peddling drugs.
Hey, little dude, send your mama and daddy out of the room. I gotta get you up on this. You know who I am. Snake, dealing in weed, coke, crack, your choice. Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama, lie, cheat on your homeboys. But hey, that's the price you pay when you deal with dudes like me. Now, some folks will tell you that I'm dealing in poison. But hey, do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? Yes!
I swear, like, the term influencer sounds like... You ever watch that old PSA ad about the dude who's offering you drugs? And I see what's going on here. Okay, so I'm in the raft. The mobile prison. Oh! Oh, there we go. Tom Holland. So when are we getting the Italian Spider-Man downloadable skin? Oh, of course, that's his tagline. You can never change that.
Come on, really? Not even a smile from the tree.
What the heck was? Oh yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for creative types or those who always wanted to put things in their back burner to just take a chance on it. I definitely am doing this. It isn't much. And again, this is the first episode, so I'm probably not gonna get into the feel of it till I do it more. And again, this might not be a long-term thing, so if you guys are looking for cartoon reviews and, video game tribute videos, again, those will be done, but this is something I wanted to try. If no one likes it, hey, it's cool. No sweat, and it doesn't change, what I've been doing, so it's fine. And, creative types, this is your time to do what you want, and even those who aren't creative, like, take a chance on doing something. Whether it succeeds or fails, this is something you wanted to do, and you get it off your bucket list. Like I mentioned before, I've had this Elgato, capture card for how long already? Maybe a year. And again, occasionally the only time I used it was to make the footage for those video game tribute videos. But aside from that, it wasn't something I wanted to do, because again, with the lack of time that I have because of work, regular like 9 to 5, but not really 9 to 5 because its hours and days fluctuate. So sometimes I could be working from midnight to 7 a.m., sleep the rest of the day, and then wake up like at 3 p.m. just to maybe have dinner and then catch up on what I missed. All those great, memes online or whatever, or YouTube videos I'm subscribed to. But definitely, like, just do something. Be creative, Take the time to, like, heck, spring cleaning, might as well get a jump on that. Or even decorate the house, whatever. Just keep yourself occupied. That's, I think, the best advice right now. Just keep yourself occupied, because I know for some, this is definitely a very stressful time for those who usually have a lot to do and now have lots of time in their hands. Whereas there was a time, I guess, that many of us wanted more time to do what we wanted to do and never had enough time. This is like we're forced to have. This is the time that we're kind of forced to do
Something's
things.
definitely not right here.
Okay, so where am I supposed to? I guess I'm supposed to follow up route. Again, I have like a slight cold sniffle. Can I break this wall? Is this like a secret? Because it's padded. Let's see. So it needs a combination of both those attacks. So Gamora. No, he only has. Does Batista? No, Batista cannot. Dave Batista or Vin Diesel. Come on, Groot. Nah, I shouldn't say. I think he only has. Yeah, it's only one attack. So yeah, again, that other button prompt must be for, getting the, if I'm playing multiplayer or playing alongside a friend, which, social distancing does not help. But then again, I don't have much friends who probably want to play this. Let's see.
Finally, some fresh
Where the hell-
air.
Oh, I'm outside.
Cell
Okay,
smelled
so
worse than Rocket's
oh,
bunk.
is this what I think it is?
To sweet freedom.
That looks like
Hate to break
that
it to you
looks like
folks,
sand.
but it won't be quite
That looks
easy.
like sand. That's friggin' sand. Sweet. Wait, how the hell am I gonna beat Sandman? I know in Spider-Man Electro's Revenge you had to hit him with water. The Sega Genesis and the Sega CD version of Spider-Man you had to hit him with water. How am I gonna beat him? Alright. I have to say kudos to the character design. They fit the movie but also have some comic book look to it.
I'm gonna
Alright.
bury you, dead or alive.
That voice sounds familiar. I don't know much about voice acting, so I don't even know.
Italian Spider-Man.
Yeah!